Have you ever taken something that technically wasn't yours? Taking a little shortcut, just once, when no one was looking. You tell yourself it doesn't really matter. But what if life remembers every small choice we make? This is the story of a comfortable man who quietly took food from a community fridge and discovered that nothing in life truly goes unnoticed. Stay with me. In many American neighborhoods today, there is something simple but powerful. A community fridge. Placed outside a church, a small shop, or a neighborhood center, it's a place where anyone can leave food for others who need it. No paperwork, no questions, just trust. On Maple Street in Portland, Oregon, there was one such fridge. People left milk, sandwiches, fruit, canned goods, and sealed homemade meals. Some families donated when they had extra. Others came quietly when times were hard. The rule was simple: take only what you need, leave enough for others. And for months, it worked beautifully. A man named Eric lived 3 houses down the street. Eric wasn't poor. He made good money as a freelance digital marketer, drove a new car, and worked from home most days. But Eric had a habit. He loved getting more than he paid for. Coupons, free trials, shortcuts. To him, life was a game of small advantages. One afternoon, while walking his dog, Eric noticed the community fridge. The door opened and closed as neighbors came and went. Inside were fresh groceries, bread, fruit, prepared meals, and a sign taped to the glass: take what you need, leave what you can. Eric stared at it for a moment. Then he smiled slightly. Hey, free food is free food, he rationalized with a smirk. The first time felt harmless. Eric opened the fridge, looked around quickly, and grabbed a container of pasta and a bag of apples. No one will miss this, he thought. Dinner solved. The next day, he passed the fridge again. More food had appeared overnight. Someone had left fresh sandwiches. A neighbor had dropped off homemade soup. Eric paused, then opened the door again. Another meal, another small win. Soon it became a habit. Every couple of days he stopped by, taking something small each time. Not enough to be obvious, just enough to make life a little easier. And every time he walked away thinking the same thing. It's just food. They'll replace it. No big deal. A few houses away lived a single mother named Julia. She worked 2 jobs: morning shifts at a grocery store, evening cleaning offices downtown. Most weeks she managed to get by, but that winter was difficult. Her son had been sick, medical bills had piled up, and groceries were becoming harder to afford. The community fridge on Maple Street had been their quiet lifeline. Some nights, it meant the difference between dinner and nothing. But recently, Julia noticed something strange. The fridge was emptier than usual. She arrived one evening hoping to find something for her son. Inside, there was only a single yogurt, nothing else. She closed the door slowly and walked home with tired eyes. A month later, something unexpected happened to Eric. The marketing company he worked for lost a major client. Budgets were cut. Freelancers were the first to go. Eric received a short email. Contract terminated, effective immediately. Initially, he wasn't worried. He had savings. But weeks passed. New projects didn't come. Bills kept arriving. Rent, insurance, utilities. For the first time in years, Eric began to feel pressure. One evening, he opened his refrigerator, almost entirely bare. He sighed. Then suddenly he remembered something. The community fridge. Eric walked toward Maple Street just before sunset. The same fridge stood there quietly. The same sign on the door. Take what you need. He opened it. Inside were only a few items: milk, 2 sandwiches, and a small container labeled in marker, "For anyone who needs a warm meal tonight." Eric reached for it. But just then, someone else approached. It was Julia, holding her young son's hand. The boy looked tired, hungry. Julia opened the fridge slowly. Her eyes landed on the same container Eric was holding. For a moment, they both froze. Then the boy whispered softly, "Mom, is that dinner?" Something inside Eric shifted, because suddenly he realized something painful. For weeks, he had taken food meant for people like them. Food that someone's child might have needed. Food that he had never truly needed himself. Swallowing the lump in his throat, Eric placed the container back inside the fridge. He took a step back. Julia gave him a quiet, grateful smile, unaware of the shame burning inside him. Eric walked home that night with an empty bag, but his mind was full. He finally understood something simple, yet powerful. Life doesn't always punish selfishness immediately. Sometimes it simply waits, until you stand face to face with the consequences of your own choices. He remembered every meal he had taken, every time he told himself it didn't matter. But it had mattered, more than he ever realized. The next morning, Eric returned to the fridge, carrying 2 large grocery bags. Milk, fruit, bread, prepared meals. He filled the shelves quietly, then stepped back. For the first time, he felt something better than getting something for free. He felt right. Because life has a strange balance. Every act of greed eventually returns as loss. But every act of kindness finds its way back as peace. You may think no one notices the small choices you make, the extra thing you take, the quiet shortcut, the moment you put yourself before others. But life sees everything, and sooner or later, life reflects it back. Not always as punishment, sometimes as a lesson. The question is simple. What kind of reflection do you want to see? If this story meant something to you, write "Small choices matter" in the comments. And tell me down below, has life ever handed you a wake-up call that completely changed your perspective? Your story might inspire someone reading here. And if you enjoy stories that reveal the deeper truths of life, make sure you subscribe to Tales in Life. Because sometimes, one simple story can change the way we live forever.